Hey everybody, I wish I could say it's good to see you, but I can't, and you can just see me. I guess that'll have to do. You can see in the background here, I've got my fly strip. I'm up here in my office in the ag department, and of course we've got livestock all around us, and of course with that comes a few flies here and there, as you know. And if you ever come to the campus and visit me, which I always would welcome you, sit down and have a cup of coffee and visit about your toils and challenges and what you think and all of that. That would be special for me. This week we're gonna talk about debt again, okay? But first of all, just a little bit of house cleaning as far as the class goes. It looks like most of you are doing fairly well. I hope that you've enjoyed the Dave Ramsey videos that you've had. I've thrown my little videos in there every once in a while just to let you know that I'm still around and that sort of thing, and try to freshen up this class to a certain degree. Um, these are the underpinnings of a great business. What I've learned of over 30 years of business for myself, I actually started over 5 businesses. Not all of them really successful for a multitude of reasons, but the cornerstones of those businesses really, when they started, the success started to accelerate, were that we had savings and retained earnings, so that if we did trip a little bit or stub our toe, then there were some things to fall back on. Um, and then budgeting has just been imperative. And I've seen this in other businesses too. Those that don't spend some time actually forecasting what they can do, what they will do, and comparing to what they've done historically, generally have a hard time in business. And they end up starting and stopping and that sort of thing, and sometimes losing the passion that they started out with. And the third thing, and it's a huge deal, is that our society actually tells you that you can go into debt and you'll be okay, that you can take care of your wants now, and you can pay for it later. Well, I'm here to tell you that the things that Dave talked about in those videos is so correct, that if you can actually put off all of those things, or a multitude of those things, you're going to enjoy so much more success. It's going to be a lot more fun along the process, and you're going to enjoy way more as far as success goes. And one of the multitudes, or one of the benefits of all this whole thing, is that you're going to find out that it's not that hard to live on what you make, or something. Living beneath your means is just a great thing. Living beneath your means that you can participate when the church says we have a need here. Just to share with you for just a second, so maybe you'll kind of see where I'm coming from here. We've actually put on some food packings up in our neck of the woods for the people in Nicaragua. And actually, the last one we put on, we were actually able to raise enough funds, contribute enough from our side of things, and we packed over 70,000 meals for the kids down there in Nicaragua. Well, my wife and I have spent some time down there, and we found that actually benefited the people on the ground so much. It's unbelievable what kind of impact we have when we have and we live with margin. And within a business, if we don't have that kind of margin, and then if we don't save some of that back, so that if we do stub our toe, we really run into problems, especially in agriculture. There's so many wolves out there. There's so many things that we have to think about that we don't have control of. The weather and the prices, to be very specific. We don't need to throw another element into that game in order to try to be successful. Success is something that's pragmatic. It takes time. And Dave was, I think, the first one. I'm sure that he probably stole it from somewhere else, so I'll use it again. You've probably heard me before, but it typically takes about 20 years to become an overnight success. All of my classes, if you ever hear in class, you're going to hear me say that. I say it repeatedly. It takes 20 years to become an overnight success. So if you think you can start out and you can be big and you can be successful, that's atypical. It's not the norm. It's not what people do. There are always exceptions. That being said, get in there, check your grades, make sure that I put some grades where they should be. If you have any questions about that sort of thing, of course, I encourage you to call me, email me, any way that you can communicate with me. For this week's assignment, it's a little bit different because I just want to see some interaction. I'm going to stay out of the fray for a while at least and let you guys within a forum, and this is your quiz for this week, is to watch the videos that I put out for you. And then the second step is to keep an open mind. Many of us have just had it pounded into us that it takes too much capital. It takes too much capital to farm, to ranch, and all that kind of stuff. And at first, I can see, I mean, I was there too. Back in the 70s and 80s, when I was getting my start, everybody said, you can't afford to buy the land. It's too expensive. Well, it's way more expensive now than it was then. Okay? Prices are higher than they were then too. But in all of this, I mean, I have friends that have been successful ranches that didn't have a thing to start with. And they own their land, they own their livestock, and all of that. They didn't do it by mistake. They did it pragmatically. It took them time. And the whole idea of going over these sorts of things is to convince you, or hopefully give you an option that going into debt is not always the option that you need to use. Okay? I know that there's going to be some of you that are going to use debt. I use debt. Okay? I'm not so sure that it actually helped me out. It created and opened sores that were there that I didn't know were there. So I learned from that. But I'm not so sure I got any further, any faster because of it. I know that when I started living beneath my means, I started saving and I started budgeting and I started not going into debt is when we actually started being able to pay ourselves. We started to be able to be more generous and that sort of thing. And that goes along to my employees and my customers and the whole works. The whole culture of our organization, business-wise, just changed because of that, as we were working our way through that pragmatically towards that goal. And I mean, we were passionate about it, as passionate as you are, I'm sure. I mean, there's nobody that's more enthusiastic than people that farm and ranch. It can wear you out in a lifetime, though. So what I would just say, it's going to wear you out a lot quicker if you're not really, really, really smart with the debt that you take on. Be very careful with it if you do take it on. It's fire. Dave Ramsey talks about that. And if you can absolutely, if there's any way around it, you're going to benefit from it, of not having to go into debt. Just waiting. Living like no one else so that you can live like no one else. In 20 years, you'll set yourself up for the kind of success that we all can enjoy. So anyway, with that, I'm not trying to, well, I am trying to emphasize it, but you may be hard and fast that you have to use debt. There are some people that seem to get by with it, but you know, by the time I'm fast approaching 60, okay? This is the part of my lifetime that I don't want to have to be looking over my shoulder and seeing who I pay and when I have to make my payments and that sort of thing. So anyway, good to see you. And I'd love to see you in my office sometime, or out in the field, or wherever it happens. If I can help you in any way, I'd enjoy doing that. I've had the chance to visit with a lot of people over the years, and that's just a pure joy to me. So anyway, I hope you enjoy this week. It's not that challenging, but I really want you to think and then respond to your classmates. I want your thoughts, and then respond to your classmates and that sort of thing. Okay, so over and out, just to check in. Take care. Let me know if you need some help in this class or one of the others that you're taking from us. Okay?